We start, of course, with the unsealed court papers, where we learn the special counsel Jack Smith obtained a search warrant for Donald Trump's Twitter account. That happened earlier this year. The warrant was signed by a federal judge in Washington, we now know, and it is the first known example of Smith directly searching the former president's communications as part of the investigation into attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Around the table we go. Chris, we start with you. What do you make of Jack Smith needing Twitter to look into Donald Trump?
Wouldn't you love to see the DMs? Wouldn't you love to see into the DMs? Probably not for very long. Look, I'm sure these aren't the only communications of Donald Trump's that Jack Smith has subpoenaed and obtained, and I'm sure that the judge who granted him this granted him other communications that Donald Trump had. And look, we have the Georgia case pending now, where prosecutors in Georgia are getting ready to move on to their case, which seems like a more straightforward kind of case because it deals with Georgia law and the folks there. I'm sure that Jack Smith and prosecutors have looked at an awful lot of Donald Trump's communications.
I gotta say, as someone who had to follow the Presidential Records Act, everything President Obama even wrote to someone had to be turned in and had to go into the Presidential Records Act. So, you know,
but that was on his @POTUS handle, right? This is at real Donald Trump, the personal one. But this is the interesting thing. When you are the President of the United States, like, if you're conducting business over Twitter, we changed it all because we gave him a cell phone, right? Like, giving President Obama a BlackBerry at the time was a big deal. And then Trump had Twitter. These are communications that are not through official military, secure, transmissions. And so they open up multiple vulnerabilities, but I certainly think he deserves the right to see them.
And Twitter really had no choice. I mean, they had to give over these records, without a doubt. But what exactly is Jack Smith looking for? I mean, it could be where he was when he posted stuff, other people posting DMs. Yeah. There's got to be a lot of data. Remember, when he did this in the middle of the night, it was funny. And he
Covfefe,
It was funny for you to tell the reporters, "Oh, go write about that." But for the reporters, it was like, "Come on,
Blake, get us something on Covfefe." Yeah.
But now it's serious, and it could lead to some type of smoking gun. Who knows?
Well, who knows? And remember, Donald Trump is so notoriously nervous about his communication, so he would write something and then he would rip it up, and then staff would have to come and piece together everything. So I'm actually really curious as to know, what was he willing to write over those DMs? He might have actually been restrained. I don't know.
But beyond all that, there are the issues that Donald Trump raises and that conservatives raise. For example, here was the reaction. And by the way, Donald Trump found out with the rest of us. Twitter had to keep all of this silent by court order. Here was Donald Trump's reaction. He said, quote, "Just found out that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ secretly attacked my Twitter account, making it a point not to let me know about this major hit on my civil rights. My political opponent is going crazy to try to infringe on my campaign for president. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Does the First Amendment still exist? Did deranged Jack Smith tell the unselects to destroy and delete all evidence? These are dark days in America." Rebecca, this is the issue that many Republicans have been taking with Jack Smith and this investigation.
No, I mean, and he's got a point. I mean, what is the degree to which these kinds of things should be private, and Americans should expect that their First Amendment is protected? But again, this goes back, Donald Trump he's not a normal American. He was the president of the United States. He was conducting business via Twitter. That was a main staple of the way he conducted business. And so I think that there is every reasonable expectation that he should have these.
If the charge against Donald Trump is that he tried to steal a second term and that he tried to interfere with the peaceful transition of power to his rightful successor, Joe Biden, then that's where the investigation goes. The idea, what the coded message from Trump and from his supporters in the Republican Party is, he did it, but he shouldn't be prosecuted for it for two reasons. He's a former president and he's a political figure, so he shouldn't be prosecuted. And because Hunter Biden's not being dragged underneath a garbage scow somewhere, that Donald Trump shouldn't be touched. I want to tell you, in the primary, it's a perfectly good argument to make. In a general election, it's a dog.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.